हाँ मैप चैप्टर करेंगे आराम से. So now let's start class 7 NCERT. The first chapter is about environment. Let's quickly go through this. Most of the topics are very easy and I hope all of you have read these. So the components of environment is, one is the natural environment and then we have human environment. In natural environment, we have hydrosphere, atmosphere, lithosphere and biosphere. Biotic is the living organisms. Abiotic is non-living like land, air, water, sun. Environment is a mixture of both biotic and abiotic components. Environment means neighborhood. It has taken from a French word. Lithosphere, we know it's a solid crust or the hard top layer of the earth. Earth का जो ऊपर का layer है, that's lithosphere. Here we will find forests, grasslands, etc. Water is hydrosphere and air is atmosphere. We know up till this part. What is an ecosystem? This is important. You will hear terms like ecosystem, ecotone, vagara vagara. So ecosystem, it's a system formed by interaction of all living organisms with each other with the physical and chemical factors of the environment in which they live, all linked by the transfer of energy and material. अच्छा definition है, समझते हैं. Ecosystem means the interaction of all organisms. First thing is interaction of all organisms. So whatever plant or animals are there, they interact with each other. Like the snake eats frogs and the frog eats crops. And in France, people eat frogs. So all these people are interacting with each other and with physical and chemical factors. People also, or the animals also interact with physical or chemical factors. So we as a human interact with physical chemical features. Animals also interact with physical and chemical factors of the environment in which they live. जहाँ रहते हैं उनके साथ interact करते हैं. And because of this, energy and material transfers happens. So when a frog is eaten by the snake, energy is transferred. When frog eats the insect, the energy is transferred. When insect eats the plants, the energy is transferred. So transfer of energy and materials happening in our system, which is known as ecosystem. Biosphere हमने पढ़ लिया है. So this is a good example of pond ecosystem. Here the animals, plants, everything is dependent upon each other and they are interacting. So this is it in the first chapter. बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं है. ये कर लो एक बार exercise. Which is not a natural 6-7 का. Which is not a natural ecosystem. What should be the answer? A fish aquarium that human has created, so not a natural ecosystem. Which is not a component of human environment. Human environment का component कौन सा है? नहीं है. Land. Land. B नहीं land. Land is not a component of human environment. Human environment में क्या क्या दिया है इधर? Human environment में family, community, religion, education, political situation is human environment. Which is the human-made environment? Go on and mute here. Page 3. So which is a human-made environment? Road is a human-made environment. ये तो तुम लोग कर लोगे. चलते हैं next chapter में. Inside our earth. So important topic. Oh. So earth is just like an onion. You peel one layer and you get another layer. You peel other layer, you get one more layer. But we cannot go inside the earth and look कि क्या है इसके अंदर. The deepest mine that we have created is just 4 kilometers deep. Now you can think in about 6400 किलोमीटर का रेडियस में हमने 4 किलोमीटर का एक गड्ढा किया है. So it's about 1000 times. तो ये ऐसा है कि you have a cloth of कितना 1000 किलोमीटर और उसमें से तुम 1 मीटर काट लो, थोड़ा सा आधा मीटर काट लो, पता भी नहीं चलेगा किसी को कि क्या हो रहा है. So it for us it's very difficult to know about Earth. The reason because of which we cannot dig deeper is it's very hot, because the gravity increases as we go down. The pressure is very high. Now the topmost layer is the crust, which is thinnest, और ये 35 to 5 किलोमीटर तक होता है. ये थोड़ा समझते हैं कि why it is 35 to 5 kilometers. Now it's not a uniform area. ये मैप बनाने की कोशिश करनी चाहिए तुम लोगों को, if you can create this figure. See, Earth is like this, but on this Earth, at some places you have oceans, and at other places you have mountains. Now, naturally, where you will have the mountain, the top, the length of the top soil will be very high. मान लो हिमालय है, तो above the sea level it has 8 kilometers high. Some kilometers is deeper in the ocean level, and then roots, the mountains have their roots deeper into the earth. So it's at the highest place it can be up to about 35 kilometers. But the crust below oceans is very thin. It's just 5 kilometers, and after that mantle will start. ये बस 5 किलोमीटर का ये जोन है यहाँ पे. ओशन के नीचे the earth crust is thinner. This is clear. 35 kilometer on the continental mass and 5 kilometer on the oceanic floor. ये बात समझ में आई सबको? जल्दी. हाँ, चलो. The main mineral constituent of the continental mass are silica and aluminum. It is called Cr. ये जो continental mass है, the mass of which the continents are formed, like Asia, Africa, जो हमने देखा. So these continents are formed by mainly Cr, silica and aluminum. So if you take a piece of the land where we are, the highest constituent will be of silica and aluminum, and then there will be rest other minerals like iron or phosphorus, whatever it is. But the highest quantity is of silica and aluminum. So that's why it's called Sial. The ocean crust is made up of silica and magnesium, and that's why it is called Sima. The ocean crust here is Sima. ठीक है? Sial and Sima. Now within the earth crust, we have a mantle which extends up to 2,900 kilometers. Crust के नीचे क्या है? Mantle है, which is 2,900 kilometers deep. And then the innermost we have a 3,500 kilometers core, which is radius where जिसको कहते हैं core. This core is made up of nickel and iron, and that's why it's called knife. Here the core is called knife. कुछ facts हैं. The crust forms only 1% of the volume of the earth. 84% consists of the mantle and 5% makes up the core. क्रस्ट पे जितना कुछ भी हम लोग देख रहे हैं ना, ऑल दिस माउंटेन्स एंड रिवर्स एंड एवरीथिंग दैट वी सॉ, इट्स जस्ट 1% of the total volume. So if the earth is 100, earth is of 100 kilogram, the crust, overall the weight of the crust is just 1 kg. 84% is the mantle and 15% is core. And the radius is about 6,400 kilometers, or 6371 to be precise. Now rocks and minerals. Any natural mass of minerals. ये अच्छा definition है. A natural mass of mineral matter that makes up Earth's crust is known as rock. कोई भी mineral matter है Earth crust पे, उसको rock बोलेंगे. Rock is of 3 kinds: igneous, sedimentary and metamorphic. यहाँ पे दिया है क्या? हाँ, यहाँ पे देखो. This, try to understand this. This is known as rock cycle. The first is igneous. These are also known as primary rocks because these are the rocks which are formed for the first time. How they will form? They are formed by the solidification of molten lava. ये लावा वोल्केनो से निकल के और सॉलिड हो जाए तो वो क्या बनाएगा? इग्नियस, फायर. हिंदी में अग्नि और चट्टान बोलते हैं. तो इग्नियस रॉक, as the name suggests. Now from here we come to this, follow the arrow. Igneous rock is formed. Now what will happen, that this igneous rock will change into sediments. How it will change into sediments? Through the process of external forces का हम जो देखा, erosion and weathering. Erosion, weathering के चलते it will change into sediments. Like Ganga flowing in the Himalayas will break the rock into finer sediments. Now these sediments will get settled in the bottom of the ocean. ये क्या होगा, धीरे धीरे बहुत सारा सिल्ट जाते 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 in the bottom of the ocean, these sediments will get settled. Now as the layer of the sediments will get thicker and thicker because of the very high pressure, it will solidify and change into sedimentary rock. Now here it's a very interesting feature. If you know this process, you can understand a lot of things. All the oil or petroleum reserves that we find generally in sedimentary rocks. ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है? Because let's suppose one layer of sediment is first deposited. एक layer of sediment deposit हो गया. After that, what will happen? The fishes will die. The mountains or the forest. In ocean, we have huge forests. So these forests will die. And they will get deposited under the next layer of the sediment. Then this process will keep continuing. If you know, petroleum is a carbon-based product. Carbon होता है petroleum में. It's an organic substance. This can only be formed by another organic substance. So ये जो deposits हो जाते हैं, पेड़, पौधे, मछलियाँ, thousands and crores of animals and other living organisms, under extreme pressure they change into petroleum products. So this is the second process, from rock to sediments, from sediments to again sedimentary rocks. Now these sedimentary rocks sometimes changes their feature. When these sedimentary rocks suffer through great heat and pressure, they change into metamorphic. Morphic means forms, different forms. Meta means different forms. तो अलग अलग तरीके के फॉर्म्स ले लेता है. मेटामॉर्फिक रॉक्स आर लाइक दीज मार्बल्स, रेड, येलो, ऐसा ऐसा बहुत सारा खूबसूरत पत्थर बदल जाएगा वो. So metamorphic rocks, sedimentary rocks can change into metamorphic rocks under great heat and pressure. Clay changes into slate and limestone into marble. वो जो हम लोग स्लेट पे लिखते हैं ना, तुम लोगों ने देखा होगा वो बचपन में स्लेट पे जो लिखते हैं, that slate is actually a metamorphic rock. Initially it was clay. वो बस एक मिट्टी का ऐसा igneous sediment जो जमा हुआ है उसका, वो बस मिट्टी का एक sedimentary clay बना हुआ है. But it went into such a heat and pressure situation that it changes into a slate, dark black object. Limestone, normal limestone, ये जो चूना पत्थर जिसको हम बोलते हैं. So when this limestone goes into extreme heat and pressure, it changes into marble. तो हमने ये देखा. तो from sedimentary we come to metamorphic rocks. Now these metamorphic rocks, if it is under extreme pressure and heat, so it will be under the earth. तो फिर ये volcanic eruption हो सकता है वहां से, and the whole chain will start again. Sedimentary rock, instead of becoming metamorphic rock, directly can be consumed or changed into magma. बहुत heat and pressure बने और वो lava में convert हो जाए. That's possible. Again, the igneous rock can directly change into metamorphic rock as well. If it will get certain amount of heat and pressure, it will change into metamorphic rock. Now, metamorphic rock can also go into sedimentation. Metamorphic rock का भी sedimentation हो सकता है by the same process of erosion or withering. Sedimentary rocks can again change into sediments. Sedimentary rock है वो धीरे धीरे erode होके फिर से sediment बन सकता है. समझ में आया? ये पूरा रॉक साइकिल समझ में आया? So try to draw it with your hand. यहाँ पे कुछ examples भी होंगे. So some of the examples of igneous rock. Igneous rock दो तरीके के यहाँ पे दिए हैं, extrusive igneous rocks and intrusive igneous rocks. What's happening? Let's suppose this is your volcano. The molten lava is coming up. Sorry, the magma is coming up, and it will change into lava on the Earth's surface, get solidified, lead to the creation of rock. But what will happen if in a volcano the magma is trying to rise up, but it does not have the sufficient force to break out. So क्या होगा? वो अर्थ के अंदर ही, inside earth, they will create a deposition and that magma will solidify. So those solidified magmas within the earth's surface are intrusive igneous rocks. तो हम जो ग्रेनाइट देखते हैं ना, ग्रेनाइट, Granites are example of intrusive igneous rocks, whereas the basalt rocks that we see in Deccan Plateau, these are extrusive igneous rocks. अब यहाँ पे दो चीजें और है, fine grained structure and large grain structures. Can anybody explain me? कुछ कोई relate कर पा रहे हो तुम लोग? Why extrusive igneous rocks will have fine grained and intrusive igneous rocks will have large grains? Those who have studied science. थोड़ी साइंस की परीक्षा हो जाए. Intrusive igneous rocks will have large grains. Crystallization कितने लोगों ने पढ़ा है? How many of you have read crystallization during your school days? The chemical process crystallization. What happens during crystallization process? क्या होता है crystallization में? What is crystallization? What is crystallization? Crystal gets separated out. From where to where? How? So crystallization is a process of changing of liquid into solids. The process through which the liquids or the molten thing change into solid. ठीक है, यही प्रोसेस है क्रिस्टलाइजेशन, लिक्विड का सॉलिड बनना. So say think I have said that. Now I will give a very basic example of crystallization. The formation of sugar. You get sugar. Sugars are in crystallized forms. Now you might have seen, I don't know how many of you goes to the kitchen or buy sugars, but I do a lot. So you will get that sometimes sugars will have very large crystals. बड़े बड़े दाने आते हैं sugar के. Sometimes you will find that sugar is very fine, very small sugar, fine grains. Now, which is better quality of sugar? Anyone? Those who know a little bit about cooking. कौन सा सुगर अच्छा होगा, बड़ा क्रिस्टल वाला या छोटा क्रिस्टल वाला? बड़ा क्रिस्टल वाला, गुड. नहीं, बड़ा क्रिस्टल वाला अच्छा होता है. Bigger ones are sold at higher prices also. So big crystals. Same thing is happening under earth. This molten lava. Now, बड़ा क्रिस्टल कैसे बनता है? And why it is sold cost at a higher price? To make bigger crystals, you need to maintain a certain degree of climate or temperature. Sorry, certain degree of temperature, not climate. You cannot maintain climate. So you need to maintain certain degree of temperature. If the temperature is less, if the liquid is solidifying or cooling very slowly, more molecules will remain stuck to each other and they will create bigger crystals. एक वेब सीरीज आती थी ब्रेकिंग बैड, किसी ने देखी है क्या? नाम सुना है? तो ब्रेकिंग बैड में तुम लोगों ने देखा होगा कि in that Heisenberg creates crystals and his crystals were of, so there is this meth dealer who used to make crystals. Now जाके देखना नहीं है उसे, I'm just giving you a reference so that. So he used to make narcotics. तो उस नार्कोटिक्स में उसकी स्पेशलिटी क्या थी? He was a chemistry teacher, but his specialty was that he was able to create very big crystals, and those crystals were of very high value in the market. Because generally an untrained scientist, when they will try to create the same thing, they cannot control the temperature and the crystals will be very small. Now relate it to this. When the lava is coming on the surface of the earth, it will get cooled very fast, and that's why it will create fine grained structure. तो जो मिट्टी होगी, वो काली मिट्टी का जो ग्रेन होगा ना, वो बहुत सॉफ्ट होगा, बहुत छोटे छोटे ग्रेन होंगे. दोज हु आर इन दिस रीजन, दे विल, महाराष्ट्र वाले बताओ, मिट्टी के ग्रेन्स बहुत फाइन होंगे. But the granite will have very large structure, so maybe the whole block will get solidify and will create one singular piece. वो इतना बड़ा हो जाएगा कि एक कहीं कहीं अच्छा ग्रेनाइट can be meters of long of one single block. तो ये बात समझ में आई? Larger grains or finer grains. This is clear. In intrusive you will have large grains, in extrusive you will have small grains. कभी खुद से पढ़े थे तो सोचे थे कि इतना डीप होगा? चल तुम्हें वैसे आप पढ़ के निकल गए, अच्छा फाइन ग्रेन और स्मॉल ग्रेन कुछ होता होगा, ठीक है. Now fossils, I have already explained you how when sedimentary rocks में क्या होता है, fossils हो जाते हैं. जो dead plants and animals trapped in the rock layers is called fossils, and they are generally found in sedimentary rocks. So this is done. रॉक का हम क्या करते हैं, 7 स्टोन पिट्टो और सटापू और कितकित खेलते हैं. हमने तो बहुत खेला है, तुम लोग का पता नहीं. So this is the end of this chapter. Let's move forward. Our changing earth. हो ना, अभी एनर्जी बची है ना पढ़ने की? पढ़ सकते हैं थोड़ी देर और. It's interesting, I hope. Next week. थोड़ा सा पढ़ लो, because we are running very late and we have to complete it in next 2-3 weeks. देखो कुछ नया नहीं है इसमें. अच्छा चलो ठीक है, नेक्स्ट वीक पढ़ाएंगे. इंपॉर्टेंट चैप्टर है ये काफी. सब कुछ ही इंपॉर्टेंट है यार, क्या छोड़ा जाए, क्या पढ़ाया जाए. ठीक है, एक बार ये चैप्टर देख लो क्योंकि नेक्स्ट चैप्टर ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है. तो कल नेक्स्ट वीक में एयर से स्टार्ट करेंगे. ये वाला चैप्टर आज देख लेते हैं, our changing earth. So how does our earth's surface change? Why do we have so many different kind of landforms? Lithosphere that we know is broken into plates known as lithospheric plates. हमने अभी तक क्या पढ़ा कि the rock part of the earth is lithosphere, or the solid part is lithosphere. This solid part of the earth is broken into different plates. You can imagine that this is your earth, and as we see football. On football, we saw different kind of patches, right? So let's consider each patch as a plate. And these plates are floating or moving around on the surface of the earth. So these plates are called lithospheric plate. They move around very slowly, just a few millimeters each year. Now, the plates of the football do not move, but the plates of the earth, they move very slowly. And we will see, we can actually predict in which direction it will move, and because of that, what kind of changes will happen. And then why this plate moves? The reason for this is the movement of molten magma inside the earth. Magma inside the earth moves in a circular manner and shown as shown in this activity. This is very important activity. मतलब NCERT ने इतने अच्छे से इसको explain किया है. देखते हैं. So the activity suggests that you take a beaker. Now all of us have seen, all of you have boiled water at some point of time. Now when you will boil the water, how does the water moves? Many of you might not have taken care of. But via this experiment, you will see that when you boil the water, you will observe in the boiling water, you put some paper pellets. Boiling water में क्या करो, ऐसे पेपर के कुछ टुकड़े डाल दो, गोल गोल करके तुम पेपर डाल दो, pellets बना के, गोली बना के. Now you will see that they are moving upward along with the warm layers of water. As we know, if you will heat something, it will rise up. So ये जो यहाँ का water है, it has become hot and it will started rising up. So as this water will rise up, with that, the pellet will also rise up. Now this water will rise up and come to the surface. But on the surface, it will get colder, at least relative to the surface, the air at the bottom now. So with water, the pellet will move down again and it will again heat up and again move down. तो क्या देखोगे कि a movement like this will start. अगर इस तरह बनाए तो बकेट में बीकर में कैसा मूवमेंट होगा? The water will rise up and come down, again will rise up, get heated, will rise up, and on the other side also the same thing is happening. All of you agree with this? ऐसा मूवमेंट होगा वाटर का? इस तरीके से मूव करेगा ना? नहीं, करके देखना, इसी तरीके से करेगा. तो just for the fun part, थोड़ा सा बताओ मुझे कि why the hot water will rise up. hot water rise क्यों करेगा? Which has lower density, Kishore? पलक तो bubbles movement पे जा रही है. I'm asking कि why this warm water? Kishore is saying the okay, high to low temperature. कोई पूरा complete explain करो. Raise your hand and I will unmute you. हाँ विनय बताइए.
Sir, at the top water will have a low density and bottom water have a higher density. No. Bottom water would be low density and top water will be not heated, so it has a high density. So it will get down and bottom water will get up.
Why this is high density and why it has low density?
Because of they are giving some heat from bottom, so it will density will decrease it at the bottom.
Why? That's the question. कि why density decreases with heat?
Because water molecules get distributed. Uh, it's the distance between the water molecules get increases.
Good, great. So this is what I was expecting. चलो देखो, जिनको नहीं समझ में आ रहा है समझ लो. This is very easy to say कि low density and high density and that's why it's moving. But why the density is changing? That's what we are concerned with. As Vinay rightly said, when, and this is not just for water, mark it for once and always. We will come back to this again and again. When we will start reading atmosphere, we will come to this concept again. This is a cube. In this cube, you have water. You have water molecules. These water molecules, let's suppose this is at 20 degrees Celsius. Now, when you will start heating this water body, normally क्या होता है? Water is made up of H2O, different molecules of H2O. So this water is nothing but billions of molecules of H2O are present in this. When you will heat up, the heat is providing kinetic energy. Sorry, heat is providing the heat energy. This heat energy changes into the kinetic energy and it gives movement. कौन unmute है? Mute कर लो. So because of this, this water molecule starts to move at a very high speed. As they will get heated, they will start moving. When they will move at a higher speed, the distance between their molecules will increase. Now, let's suppose if in the previous case, in this area, there were 100 molecules. Now, because of heating, only 80 molecules will be in this region. So the density, now what is the formula of density? Mass by volume. So now mass has increased because number of particles has decreased. So if you will provide more and more heat, more mass will decline. So more density will go down. जितना heat provide करोगे, mass उतना कम होगा, density उतना ही कम होता जाएगा. So this is the whole thing that is happening here. You're providing heat here. This is getting low density. Now we know this, all of us know this, that in a water body, always the lower dense thing will be at the top. The higher density thing will be at the bottom. जो भारी होगा वो डूब जाएगा, जो हल्का होगा वो ऊपर आ जाएगा. So this bubble will or this water packet जो भी गर्म हो गया जितना रीजन, वो ऊपर आएगा और बाकी का नीचे चला जाएगा. You might have experimented this. You take a glass or a cup or whatever utensil you have, you sink that into the water body. हमारे यहाँ लोटा होता था, हम बड़ा एक्सपेरिमेंट करते थे. तो उलट के वो लोटा अंदर डालो और as soon as you will remove it, the utensil will jump, bounce back and come at the top because its density is lower than the density of the water. वही पानी भर के डालोगे तो नहीं जाएगा. हाँ आयन बताओ. अच्छा गलती से. तो ये हो गया X movement. So this force is responsible for the movement of plates. कैसे? This is your plate. This is the molten lava which is getting heated coming to the surface and going down. So this molten lava which is moving in this, or molten lava ka magma which is moving in this direction, will force this to move in this direction. This will force it to move in this direction. Because of this, there might be a break here, and the movements will move, the plates will move in the direction of the underground magma flow. अब यहाँ पे चलो यहीं तक छोड़ते हैं इसको, आगे आके आगे का देखा जाएगा। बताओ कुछ पूछना चाहते हो तो। क्लास इज ऑफिशियली ओवर, विल मीट अगेन ऑन नेक्स्ट सैटरडे एंड विल कंटिन्यू। थोड़ा आदत डालो, थोड़ा लंबा टाइम तक पढ़ने का। ठीक है, कैन यू टेक क्लासेस इन द इवनिंग टाइम? Oh, नेक्स्ट सैटरडे को सुनाऊंगा, चलो आज नहीं सुनाऊंगा। द लिंक ऑफ द टेलीग्राम ग्रुप। अच्छा जो लोग नए आए हैं, हाँ, यू विल गेट, आई विल शेयर द लिंक ऑफ द टेलीग्राम ग्रुप एंड ऑल। और टेलीग्राम ग्रुप पे थोड़ा स्क्रॉल करके ऊपर देखो, यू विल गेट ऑल द रिसोर्सेज दैट यू नीड। दूसरी सिंह मैं नहीं सुनी आज तक एक भी नहीं। कल करते हैं, चलो बाय एवरीवन। रिकॉर्डिंग्स आर शेयर्ड ऑलरेडी, मैं आज फिर से शेयर कर दूंगा, ठीक है।